we are officially live with the Days of Nuggets event. Now, I'm honored to be kind of the MC of this kickoff event, or one of the MCs. And the mastermind behind this is, of course, my good friend here, Mike Zagari. But let me tell you about my first introduction to Days of Nuggets. You guys know, in the digital marketing space, in the e-commerce space, whatever we're doing, that there's a lot of content out there. And there's a lot of online events, and there's a lot of webinars, and there's a lot of Facebook Lives. And sometimes it gets to be a lot. And last year I saw this thing pop up, Days of Nuggets. I'm like, oh, great, another digital event. And then sure enough, like 2 days later, I get a message from this guy, Mike. Hey, Tim, we'd love for you to put together a nugget. I'm like, oh, great. Another stinking thing I got to do a video for, right? And it quickly became apparent that that's not what this was. This is not a normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill thing. This was bigger. This was bolder. And this was actually engineered and designed to go towards an exceptionally great organization, right? This was designed and engineered to put together some of the best content in one of the most consolidated and concentrated formats of anything I'd ever seen. And as I watched this Days of Nuggets thing play out last year, and Mike, tell me if I've got this wrong, but I think there was 100,000 hits to the website last year, right?
We had almost 100,000 in our first month of going live.
In the first month. So what that tells me is not that there was a tremendous amount of marketing pushing people to consume this content, but it was actually good content, and it was for a great cause, and it was great community, and it was great organization. Like, this is the real deal. So this year, those of you, that are listening, this. It's not the year we expected, and there's been a lot of highlights from this year, a whole lot of lowlights from this year, so to speak. And we've all got a little bit of webinar fatigue, right? We've all seen a little bit too much online event stuff. We've seen too much content online because everything had to go to online. All the formats, were online. But when Mike called me and he said, Tim, we're doing Days of Nuggets again this year, I was like, yes, freaking Days of Nuggets. It's going to be awesome. And he was like, Tim, I want you to find sponsors. And I was like, okay, I'll try. I make no promises, but I'll try. And then he said, Tim, I want you to help me host the kickoff. I was like, yes, I'll do it. So those of you that are listening, I want to make a promise to you. This is not like every other event out there. This is not the same old bull crap that's out there. This is like concentrated content. This is some of the best thoughts from some of the biggest and brightest and most skilled and polished thought leaders in the industry. And of course, all of this is going to an amazing cause, which is Underground Railroad, or Operation Underground Railroad. I'm sorry. And I'm just so excited that you guys are here on the kickoff event, where we are going to share a lot of stuff over the next 2 hours and then trickle out content for the next 12 days. And we'll talk about more of that in a second. But before we do that, Mike, if you would, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and tell us how this whole project came to be last year.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mike Zagari, and so excited to bring you the 12 Days of Nuggets 2020. This project is near and dear to my heart. It is the one thing that I felt the most passionate about, and I'm excited for you guys over the next 2 weeks to really deliver some really great content for a cause, some actionable content for a cause. So Tim, this happened about 3 or 4 years ago, and I'll tell my full story in a minute or so. But I was introduced to Operation Underground Railroad, and I just couldn't believe what they were doing, the impact that they were making. And I was a new seller, building my business, building PPC Entourage, and then I wanted a way to really make an impact. And these two ideas sort of clashed and merged. Why not help sellers build and grow their business, but also help them give back to what I think is the most meaningful, powerful cause that we could possibly give back to. Now that's my framing of it. I think it's so powerful. I think what these guys are doing is incredible. So anything that I can do to give back, man, it feels great. So that's where the 12 Days of Nuggets came about. And we're going to get into what exactly that means. And I'll share my story a little bit more, but just know that you guys are in for some really amazing, crazy good content over the next 2 weeks. And we're also going to make a difference together. That is my promise to you.
Yeah, I remember, two things that kind of lead into what you're talking about, why this is important and why this charity was chosen. One reason this is important is because we all need to grow, right? And a lot of times we as entrepreneurs, we get this ego like, oh, we figured it out. We had our first good product launch. We're doing it, right? And we get stuck in this trap of thinking that we've got it all figured out, and we stop looking for new content, new information, the changes in things, like new ideas, right? So we constantly have to be feeding ourselves with basically input from the community, input from other amazing people that are trying things and they're figuring it out and they're succeeding as well. So we have to constantly be funneling, new content, new ideas into our businesses. And I love that Days of Nuggets does that. It's fairly consolidated. Over 12 days, we have over 60 people that have spent a significant amount of time sitting down and contributing some of their best nuggets. And then the first introduction that I had to Operation Underground Railroad was actually at a ClickFunnels Live or Funnel Hacking Live event. And they had some guys from Operation Underground Railroad there. And I remember watching these videos of these like ex-military guys that were getting together and going to these countries where child sex trafficking was really, starting, like that journey for these children was starting, and were taking it upon themselves to shut down these rings, these organizations. And it was amazing. And I remember like crying watching these videos, this amazing works that were happening, but these incredibly sad stories. And of course, when I saw that Mike through this, through this operation or through this Days of Nuggets was supporting Operation Underground Railroad, I knew that we were putting together two incredibly powerful things, which was amazing content and community interaction, as well as supporting an amazing, amazing, amazing cause.
Well said, Tim. Yeah, and to me, it's an incredibly important cause. These guys are doing God's work, in my opinion. They're really going in there and doing things. We're actually going to have members from OUR come on this live stream in a couple of hours. So guys, stay tuned. We're going to ask them some really important questions, get to know what they're actually doing, what they're, how big of a difference they're making, the rehabs that they're doing. It's just incredible work. And plus, we're going to be launching our very first nugget in about 2 hours. So stay tuned for that. And of course, we have a ton of great stuff coming up. So what do you say, Tim?
Yeah, so this is the kickoff party. Let me tell all of you exactly what's going to happen. And I have to look down at my notes here. In just a second, Mike's going to give us a little more of an introduction into Underground Railroad, Operation Underground Railroad. Then we're going to talk about the actual format of Days of Nuggets. Now, this is a little different than last year. There is more interaction involved. We're actually doing contests. We have all sorts of amazing stuff. We'll talk about the format of that in a second. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the different aspects of why Operation Underground Railroad is important. We're going to have one of our other premium sponsors, Gatita. We're having Yanni going to come in here, and we're actually going to have a trivia contest. So stay tuned for a few more minutes, and we're going to have a contest where we're actually giving away prizes live on this kickoff event, and they're pretty serious. I'm looking at the dollar value right here in my notes, and it's ridiculous. So make sure to stay tuned for that. We've got PickFu helping us with that. We've got some guest speakers we're going to have some guest pop-ins from some of our Nugget contributors. Our speakers are going to pop in here in a few minutes.
We call them
we do have
Key Nug speakers. The Key Nug speakers are coming in.
Key Nug speakers. I always get that wrong. In fact, we even have a what would you call that? A little drop-in from Key Nug himself, right?
Oh yeah, we have a drop in from Big Nug. Big Nug.
I'm getting all this wrong. I'm looking at too many notes. We've got a representative from Operation Underground Railroad is actually going to pop in the next couple hours, and then all this is going to lead into the actual kickoff of the kind of Key Nugs dropping, which you guys need to stay tuned for the first one that's hitting us. It's a pretty good one. Awesome. So I guess, Mike, if you want to go ahead and start with your it's only going to be 10 minutes or so, maybe 15 minutes, little presentation you put together talking about Operation Underground Railroad to help our listeners understand why this is so important.
Yeah. So Tim, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. And guys, I'm excited to share the Days of Nuggets kickoff event with you live. We're going to have an amazing event ahead. To kick off the kickoff event, I want to go over and share with you my story with Operation Underground Railroad, which is very similar to how Tim got introduced to Operation Underground Railroad. So this is me, for those of you who don't know me, speaking at an event, and I love to go to events. And it's actually at an event that I learned about Operation Underground Railroad. Here's the event where I saw them for the first time. Now, this was about 3 years ago. This was the Capitalism Conference. It might have been called Freedom Fastlane Live. This is Ryan Daniel Moran's event. And man, that event was just filled with a ton of amazing content. And I remember my head was spinning, and my partner and I were there together. We had a ton of ideas, all these things going on. And then the very last speaker came on. And suddenly all of those ideas were put on hold 100%. because this last speaker was from Operation Underground Railroad, and the whole room was captivated by what they had to say. And the brevity of this problem, the how big it is, how many people are impacted, and what they're doing to help. At the time, I was like, what the heck is going on? How can I make a difference? So that day, they planted a major seed in me, and we actually ended up donating that day. And we did their continuity donation plan where we donated like $50 a month, and they would tell us what they were doing. And some of the missions that they're up to is really wild, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. But they're out there really making a difference, and I'm looking forward to sharing with that what that's about. So here's Operation Underground Railroad. OUR has gathered the world's experts in extraction operations and anti-child trafficking efforts to bring an end to child slavery. Now, later on, I'm going to go in and show you just how big of a problem this is. It's in the tune of millions of children. In fact, if you go and Google how many child slaves are there, or how many slaves are there in the world, human slaves, you'll see that there's 40.1 million people who are still in slavery. Now, that is trafficking, sex slavery, and also labor slavery. But a lot of those 40.1 million are actually kids in the child sex trafficking industry. It's just awful. And these guys are making a huge impact. So OUR's ops teams consist of former CIA, past and current law enforcement. And essentially what they do is they work with local law enforcement to go into these child trafficking rings and to break them up. They go in there, they find out as much intelligence as they possibly can. They even befriend some of these people, get to know their network. And once they have enough information, they'll go in and they'll do these special operations and free these kids, but also put these traffickers behind bars. And then countless children who would have been in those trafficking rings are then saved in the future. On top of that, what they do, and here's an example. So this, I believe, was in the US, and this is a sniffing dog who actually can sniff out devices where some of the material that they make once they have these kids held hostage are put onto these devices. So these dogs are actually trained in sniffing out this material. And look at the writing on the wall. The kids just trying to be kids, even in the most hellish, unimaginable conditions. You know, I showed this photo last year when we did the mega event, but it resonates so much to me. Look at the conditions these kids are living in. And now these officers are going in, taking them out of these horrible conditions and then rehabbing them through all the tools that they have underneath their belt, which is, in this case, a bomb sniffing dog. And I believe if you go to their website, there's like dozens of these dogs throughout the entire country that they use to find this material. So they've saved 4,000 kids so far from this horrific tragedy. Now, last year when we did the mega event, it was 3,000 kids. So in the last year, they've saved over 1,000 kids. And they've broken up these rings, which in turn saves countless of kids in the future from living this exact same life. Then they go ahead and they give spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical rehab. So we're going to talk about this later with some of the OUR members. They're going to come on and tell us what goes on once these kids are saved, how they're rehabbed, some of the great stories that come from it. We even have heard of kids that have gone on to build their own businesses. And we'll highlight that later on. So what they're doing has an incredible impact. And this day 3 years ago, planted a major seed in my mind. And my goal here during this mega event, during this kickoff event, and during the 12 days of nuggets is to help plant some more seeds out there. Because I believe the more seeds that we plant, the greater the chance that we have of eliminating this horrible pandemic, this horrible global tragedy, and just getting more awareness behind it and then helping to eliminate it the best that we can. So 2 years later comes by, and this is 2019, and I'm at the gym doing a workout, and I wanted to do something special for our entourage audience. And the idea came to mind, like, why don't I do 12 days of really great content? I'll give away the farm or whatever. I'll talk about advertising, and then also had some money to give, and I wanted to donate that money towards Operation Underground Railroad. So whatever chance happening, these two ideas merged together, and all of a sudden the idea for 12 days of nuggets came about. And then I thought to myself, well, it would be great if I did some content over 12 days, but what if we got all of the people, all of the experts, the industry leaders, the movers and shakers, the people who have built $1 million businesses, $100 million businesses. What if we got them to also contribute their very best golden nugget tip and strategy to help you move the needle in your business? And the goodwill that is formed from creating these great, short, actionable tips of golden nugget videos will help to spread the word of Operation Underground Railroad. So that's where the 12 Days of Nuggets was born. This is the same logo that we did last year. Here's the original cast of the 12 Days of Nuggets. Little quick story. My longtime friend, Matt Abrazays, who is probably listening right now, put together all of these images in like a weekend and didn't get any sleep last year. This year, we're more planned and we have a lot of stuff that's exciting over the course of the 12 days. So 12 Days of Nuggets was born last year. We released 48 nuggets and we actually had an overspill of nuggets. I think in total, we had about 72 nuggets. And the one thing I want to say about this, and the reason why we were able to get this many nuggets from this many contributors, all high-level contributors, is because this issue unifies people. In a world where there's so much separation and there's just so much tension and so many things going on, this issue that is child slavery brought everyone together. And this year as well, people want to see an end to this, and they have moved mountains to make this event happen last year. And once again, to bring it to you guys in 2020. So that is the history of 12 Days of Nuggets. And we have partnered with Operation Underground Railroad. And once again, they'll be on the call today. But let's go over some basics. What the heck is a golden nugget? So a golden nugget is a short. This is if you go to dictionary.com, you'll actually see this. No, I'm kidding. A golden nugget is a short, no fluff, needle moving, game changing tip or strategy that can help you make massive shifts in your business. All right, guys. So this is not like, a 3-hour webinar. We didn't want a 3-hour webinar. There's plenty of content. Like Tim said, there's lots of content fatigue. We want people to be able to see the nugget that resonates the most with them. And in 5 to 10 minutes, there's an actionable tip or strategy that they can take and implement and make shifts in their business. So that's a nugget. These golden nugget videos are short, 5 to 10 minutes, action oriented, and packed with value, as you will see as they're being released over the next 12 days. How can a golden nugget help to end child slavery, right? So what's the connection between this and child slavery? Well, these nugs are so valuable, we know you'll share them everywhere. In fact, that's the most important thing that you can do, is to share these nuggets in your communities. Share it to your email list. Share it with your family at a dinner conversation. Share it on the Facebook groups, on the YouTube channels, on Reddit, on Medium, wherever sellers, e-commerce sellers hang out. Share it with them, because that could help move the needle in their business. And our number one initiative is to raise massive awareness of OUR. That is initiative number one. So we believe that through the virality of these nuggets, through the great content that we're sharing and we're giving, that we can raise massive awareness to OUR, and that the seller community, the e-commerce community, one day, every seller will know who OUR is and will know about child trafficking. And we as a collective group can put an end to this and make our dent in what I think is the biggest problem in the world. Next, we have awareness. Then we have massive action. So now that you have the awareness, like when I had the awareness 2 or 3 years ago, I took action, and then came the massive action. So the massive action portion of this is the second initiative. So our dent that we want to make is we want to initially save 400 kids. By raising $1 million, we can save 400 kids. Now, I know that's a big, lofty goal, a lofty target, but I think we can do it. I think that if sellers get the word out there and we get this initiative in front of the right people, we can do it, because this cause is so powerful and so meaningful. So the other thing I want to say is every $2,500 that we do raise saves one kid, but also countless children in the future. Because if you're breaking up those rings, then more kids aren't going into that condition in the future. So every $2,500 that we do raise is enough for OUR to really make an impact, but also a future impact and save kids who now are living a decent life from going into that existence in the future. All right, initiative number 3 is to help entrepreneurs create massive change in their business. So the initiative here is for sellers and entrepreneurs to take this information, to run with it, to use it, to then grow their business, to scale their business. And then once they do that, if you have profits, go ahead one day and donate to a cause. Go out there and make a difference. If it's our cause, great. If it's something that resonates even more with you, then great. Go out there and use your business as a tool to make change in the world that is meaningful. And that is my third and final initiative, or our third and final initiative for Days with Nuggets. So here is Days with Nuggets 2020. We've had a total website makeover. The first nugget is dropping in less than 2 hours, and you can go to our site over the next 12 days. We'll have surprises on there. We'll have great content, and you can help us make a difference in the world just by sharing the content, by donating, all of these different things, and also by making an impact and changing your business. Here's a look at some of the speakers that are coming up. There's Tim, upper left. He's got a great position up there. And you can see we've got some really big names, some really great people that have had the pleasure of meeting over the last couple of weeks who are here to help and make a difference. Check this out. We have some newcomers this year. Lots of people want to get involved. A lot of familiar faces that you probably do recognize. Now, we asked them to share their very best tip, guys. So this is going to be some really good information to help your business. And here's another, the list is epic, guys. So keep on coming back. And here's our great sponsors. We have Gatita, Entourage, and Sellers Funding. Without them, this would not be possible. So what is new in 2020? Now, Tim's going to do a much better job at summing all of this up, but I will say that in 2020, we have contests and prizes, and we'll talk about that in just a second. What else is new in 2020 is we have the User Nugget Submission Contest. So the User Nugget Submission Contest means you can make a difference with your best tip and strategy to help make that nugget go viral. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but this is a way to get everyone involved. And then the third thing is that we're going to be doing a daily live recap at 7, where myself and some of the key Nug contributors are going to come on and talk about the day's nuggets, talk about the event, and just give our 2 cents and spend a little time and hang out with you guys. So Tim, with that being said, that is the end of my little presentation. What I would like to do now is I would love to remove my screen, and I'm going to play you a little clip about what Operation Underground Railroad is. I believe this is like a minute and a half. So guys, bear with us for a minute and a half. Well, actually, pay attention. This is a very powerful video, and Tim and I will be back in like a minute.
A $150 billion industry, one of the fastest growing criminal enterprises in the world. There are 30 million people trapped by it today. And the only way it's going to stop is if we do something. We're talking about modern-day slavery. Slavery was not abolished in 1865. It exists today in various forms, and it's growing. Here is our plan for fighting the most heinous type of human slavery: child sex trafficking. Right now, there are 2 million child sex slaves throughout the world, not just overseas or in third world countries, but in America as well. Sex traffickers often recruit children because there is a high demand for young victims. Criminal organizations are attracted to human trafficking because, unlike drugs, humans can be sold repeatedly. We're here to tell you there are people doing something about it. We are Operation Underground Railroad, a team of former CIA and military personnel created to rescue trafficked children and dismantle these criminal networks. We provide law enforcement around the world with the required tools, resources, and training to take down this industry. We work together as a supplement to the government. No rescue operation happens unless we're all on the same page. Once rescued, children are reunited with their parents, if possible. OUR Aftercare ensures there are reputable shelters, orphanages, or safe houses, so every victim has high-quality care. Aftercare and rescue go hand in hand. Each are just as vital. You can't have one without the other. The only way human trafficking is going to stop is if each of us does something. Learn more by going to OURrescue.org.
Boom.
Boom. We're live.
That's powerful stuff.
Yeah, really super powerful. Great video from OUR, and we've got more coming too with some videos from OURs.
So let's talk a little bit more about the format of this. I know Mike talked a little bit about it. Let's dive a little bit deeper, because for the next 12 days, again, we're bringing amazing content. We're bringing networking. We're bringing recaps. We're bringing all sorts of cool stuff. And you guys need to understand how this is formatted and how this is going to look, so that you understand how to use this. And again, these are not 6-hour marathon webinars. This is the most concentrated content, some of the best tips that we could pack into very, very short bite-sized pieces, so that you don't have to spend a ton of time trying to filter through all the fluff. Like, you can get straight to the action. You can learn, you can network, you can basically find ways to grow your business in as small a period of time as possible. So the two primary platforms that we're using is, of course, the Days of Nugget website. All right. It's just daysofnuggets.com. Exceptional amount of content on there. We'll talk a little bit more about what's on the website in a second. And the second way that you can access all this, of course, is with the Facebook page, the Days of Nugget Facebook page. Now, the Facebook page is going to have all the nuggets dropping on there. Of course, that's where we're streaming live from right now. And you can share that. So share that in your community, share that in your mastermind group, share that to your friends, your e-commerce cohort, so to speak. And every single nugget that's dropped is going to be an individual post that you can share differently. So going back to the website, Mike, if you would talk a little bit about some of the features that we've added onto the website this year and ways in which people can utilize that website.
Yeah, so the website this year is going to be pretty cool, because when you go there in the morning, you're going to see the daily lineup card where we're going to showcase what's going to be released that day. So we're going to have 4 nuggets that are released every single day. You're going to see the title of the presentation. You can come on, and then we'll have a countdown timer to the very next nugget. Now, what's new this year, if you want to be notified of the next nugget release, you can text a number, go to our site, text that number, and we will notify you when the next nugget is going to be released. And we'll probably do some really special things if you go ahead and do that as well. So hint, hint, go ahead. It's like a code or whatever, and text your number there, and we will notify you. Also, what's new this year is there's a couple of great videos on there that explain the Days of Nuggets concept. We had a great video shoot a couple of weeks back, and I think that's going to help a lot of people understand what the Days of Nuggets is all about. And then, of course, we also have the Submit a Nugget contest. Now, that is sponsored by PickFu, and we're going to talk more about that later, where you can actually figure out how to submit your own content, submit your own nugget, and then we will showcase the very best nuggets next week. And once again, we'll dive into that later. Now, essentially, when you go to daysofnuggets.com, we'll have a little countdown timer, and it'll say, 2-3 hours until the next nugget release. So then you come on to the website, you see the new piece of content that has been delivered up there, and you watch the video, and then hopefully take massive action. You share that video, donate that if you can, and then go from there. And then we'll release the next nugget in a couple of hours from there. So Tim, I think that is, the other thing is we had a really great mega event last year, and the recording to that mega event is also available on our site today, totally for free. All you have to do is go to our site, enter in your email address, and you'll get access to last year's mega event, which was in 2020. It was actually this year's mega, but it seemed like 10 years ago, but it was 2020 mega event. You'll get access to that as well. Did I miss anything, Tim?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's tons of content on that website. And we know that there's so many things going on with Days of Nuggets that it's hard to keep track of all the stuff. And sometimes stuff disappears on Facebook. So the website's massively important. Go there. You can enter your cell phone number, like Mike was talking about, where you'll get text notifications for everything that's dropping. Go there every morning and see the lineup card, so you know what's coming that day, who's contributing specific content. Find out more about Operation Underground Railroad. There's some other things on the website that we'll talk about in a couple minutes as well. And of course, that is also where you can go to make donations to Operation Underground Railroad on behalf of Days of Nuggets. As far as the nuggets being released, we're having 3 to 4 a day. Remember, we're keeping it nice and consolidated. And those are going to go from 10 in the morning Eastern time to 5 p.m. Eastern time. So they're kind of spaced out throughout the day so that you can have an excuse to take a break from whatever you're doing and catch a little segment of that. What else can you say about the release schedule, Mike? Are there any hidden Easter eggs in there that we should know about?
The release schedule. We are going to have the live at 7 o'clock every night, and that's going to be fun to just hang out with us. Like even on Friday night and Saturday night. Tim, I don't know what you're doing next weekend, but well, I'm going to drag you on these lives.
I do now.
Yeah. So we're going to have a lot of fun during that and just recap, answer any questions that you have. Also, there's a chat bot. We call it the Nugget bot. When you go onto our site, you can have a little conversation with us and ask us any questions that you have. If you have an Amazon related question, maybe perhaps we'll ask that to our community of keynote speakers to see if they can help answer that question. We have a tight-knit community of contributors who are willing to help out sellers. So we would love to help out any way that we can. Tim, that's all that I have on my end. What's up?
Yeah,
We got a couple people though in the chat. A couple people talking to us in the chat.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, and you guys in the chat, let us know where you're at. Let us know where you're from, and let us know what you're hoping to get out of this event. That would be really, really cool to know. So let me go back and talk for a second about the recap. The recap that we're going to be doing at 7 p.m. Eastern time every night is important because, one, there's a lot of content that's going to drop through the day, and maybe you missed a couple nuggets, and you need to hear the highlights. The other thing is it allows you to interact, right? When we go live, you can post comments, you can post questions in the Facebook chat there. Hey, Tim mentioned this, and it didn't make any sense. Can you please clarify, right? So it's a way for you to interact with other guests, other what's the word I'm looking for? Other audience isn't the right word, but other people that are watching this content. So make sure that you try to catch up on the live recaps every night at 7 p.m. because that's going to be a pretty cool addition to some stuff that we're doing this year. I also want to talk about the contest. This is exceptionally cool. We've got our good friends from PickFu coming on in a minute to talk about that, but that's on the website. Guys, this is amazing. Some of the best events and conferences I've been to included an aspect of the event where just sellers, people that aren't out there publicly, but just amazing entrepreneurs sharing some of their best tidbits. So stay tuned for a few more minutes when we have folks from PickFu come on and talk about that. That's going to be an exceptionally cool part of what we're doing. And then the other thing that we talk about in the format is our closing event, right? We have our opening event now, which we're doing a lot of stuff, and then we're going to have a live networking event put on by Orange Klik and Augustus, which is really cool. But December 18th, when we close this thing up, we're going to have some live hosts, myself, some other special guests closing this off, and we're going to have some other cool aspects of the of kind of this whole Days of Nuggets program then. So from now till December 18th evening, there's a ton going on. So, Mike, I think it's time to share one of our most valuable guests, right? Which is Big Nug.
Yeah,
is it time for that?
So our premier key Nug speaker is coming on board. Big Nug is making his debut. So for those of you who have never met Big, I actually did release him a couple months back, but no one really saw it. And then I took it down. I was like, you know what? Let me save Big Nug for a big event. And
Big
here
Nug needs a big reveal.
The big reveal. Big Nug making his debut. Check it.
Yeah. Look. Listen up. Yo, the name's Big Nug and I'm your plug. By the end of this, you gon' wanna give me a hug. Cause I'ma let you into the inside scoop and show you how successful entrepreneurs do. Cause this the Days of Nuggets movement. And yes, you know that we keep it moving. We got the info to put you in the know. Cause 5-minute vids, you gon' be like, whoa. Yeah, these the golden nuggets, they ain't no joke. Jumpstart your Amazon biz, become woke. And do it for a great cause. Create awareness, eradicating child slavery. Yeah, let's end this. I'm talking worldwide, yeah, we doing it big. That's why Big Nug gonna show you how to live. From Amazon hacks to audience building, from chatbots to brand building, from launching rank to advertising, product sourcing, listing optimizing. I'm talking cash flow and so much more. Yeah, all we do is go, go, go. Our goal is to raise 1 million, so for about 60K headed to the ceiling. That's why we're keeping it with the flow. This operation, Underground Railroad. So come by weekly and get them tips, get them new tricks to improve your business. Cause Amazon is the future, and we on the path, oh for sure. So join the movement and log on to daysandnuggets.com.
Big Nug.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Mike,
Yeah.
that was actually pretty well written. Who wrote those lyrics?
I wish it was me.
We need some serious love for whoever that was, because that was epic and amazing.
Dude,
And I'm a little jealous. And what you might not know about me, Mike, is I did have a slight career back in my college days as a freestyle rapper.
Really? Do you have any
My
tapes?
name
Can we play
was
them now?
Lil Timmy, like Lil apostrophe Timmy.
Little Timmy's Big Nug's brother.
The Lil Timmy is jealous of Big Nug because he just exhibited some pretty serious flow, and it was awesome. So moving on from that, let's continue our live kickoff party here. In just a second, we're going to have Mike talk more about some of this human trafficking stuff and why that's important. We're going to share a little bit more content about Operation Underground Railroad and some of the cool stuff they have going on. And then if you'll stick through to that, we're going to get on to our first trivia contest, our first kind of live interactive thing starting this kickoff party, which is going to be super, super cool. We've got Yoni from Gatita, who is kind of helping run that. So Mike, if you would go ahead and jump into this other kind of information that you want to share about Operation Underground Railroad, and then we'll have Yanni come on and we'll start talking about this trivia contest.
Yeah, so this is OUR's site, OURrescue.org, and this site is a wealth of information to know what they're up to, what they're doing, also what this problem is, and it's a massive problem. So what I liked about this infographic is that it shows you an overview as to like how big this problem actually is. So check this out, human trafficking. And if you want to learn a lot about human trafficking, there's this website also called polarisproject.org, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But human trafficking is a massive, massive problem in the world. And 40.3 million modern day slaves are involved in human trafficking. So let's read the definition. Human trafficking is modern day slavery. It involves the use of force, fraud, or coercion to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act. If under the age of 18, force, fraud, or coercion does not need to be present. Okay, so check this out. One in four of the victims of human trafficking are children. 71% of slavery victims are women and girls. Next, trafficking in persons is now the third most profitable business for organized crime. So they are following where the money is, and the money is growing, unfortunately, in this horrible pandemic. We have guns as I would say drugs, arms, and then quickly behind that is human trafficking in terms of the growth of this unfortunately profitable crime business. All right, now check this out. 600,000 to 800,000 people are trafficked across international borders every year, including to the U.S. State Department. 80% are females and half are children. So there's 2 million children. The majority of them girls are sexually exploited in the multi-billion-dollar commercial sex industry. Now, I have a niece who's 16. I have a brother who's 14, and I couldn't even possibly imagine them being taken away from the people that they love and put into this environment. I mean, that's something that every parent's worst nightmare. And the truth of the matter is it happens. And this organization is there to make a difference, to get those kids back and to stop it from happening in the future. In fact, later we'll talk about some action steps that you can take to raise awareness so that if you see these signs going on in the neighborhood, you can take action so that this does not happen to someone that's in your neighborhood. All right, so US $32 billion estimated total illicit profits produced in 1 year by trafficked forced laborers. Now that's not just the sex industry, that's also the labor industry as well. But the thing is that these kids and these people are used so often, they're sold so often, again, repetitively over and over again. You can have, I read a blog, one girl was estimated to be raped up to 60,000 times, which to me, I was like, 60,000 times? 60,000 times? How do you even get to that number? I don't even know. But the point is that girl was brought in a lot of money. So it's a lucrative business. It's a disgusting business, and it has to end. 148 goods. This is interesting for for what we do. 148 goods identified from 75 countries made by forced and child labor. I mean, that's another topic that we can talk about in detail. Human trafficking in the United States. 80% of documented cases of human trafficking from a UN study are for the purpose of sexual exploitation. The United States was listed as the most common destination for victims. Let me say that again. The United States was listed as the most common destination for victims. So for those of you who think that this is something that goes on overseas and it's not something that happens at home, it happens very frequently. In fact, the US is the biggest driver of this behavior. And it's something that the more awareness that we have, the more chance we have to eliminate this. So Tim, I think there's a little more in this graphic, but that is the majority of what I wanted to share. So why don't we kick it back over to you?
Yeah, and I know that you're about to show a little bit of a little video in just a second, talking about a little bit more about Operation Underground Railroad. But let me say this: that this is kind of something that's near and dear to my heart. We, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as e-commerce sellers, all that good stuff that we call ourselves, sometimes we focus so much on the things that like are pressing on our inbox or pressing on our to-do list. We got to get this listing optimized. We got to get this done. We got to get this done. We got to get this done. And we think that like success is selling a product, or we think that success is building a 7-figure business, or we think that success is, exiting our business. When really success should be more than that. Success should be taking our entrepreneurial abilities to build something to help others, right? Whether that's mentoring future business owners, whether that's helping a great organization like Operation Underground Railroad. If we get into this funk where everything that we focus on is just increasing, our top line and adding another product, like we start to lose some value in what we do. And I honestly, genuinely think that entrepreneurs are in a position to make the biggest positive impact in this world of basically any profession out there. Like we have the power to do amazing things. We have the power to make serious change. We have the power to make big differences, not just in people's lives, but in economies and in entire social circles, right? And we're able to help fix problems that, frankly, a lot of other demographics and a lot of other people can't. So that's why, we're stressing the importance of, at the end of this year, as we're kind of, I shouldn't say winding down because this is our biggest time, but as we're thinking about like what impact we had this year, that's why it's so important to be thinking about something like Operation Underground Railroad and the project of Days of Nuggets here, to make sure that we're giving back, to make sure that we're actually making a positive influence in the world and not just adding more SKUs to our inventory, right? So if you guys will allow us, Mike's going to play another video that talks a little bit more in depth about kind of the tactical approach that Operation Underground Railroad goes through. It's exceptionally cool. And then as soon as that's done, we're going to have Yoni from Gatita jump on, and we're going to have a live interactive trivia. He's going to explain how that works. So watch this video. Stay tuned. We're going to get into this trivia, and then we're going to talk about how you can get involved in a contest that is new to this year where you can actually make some pretty serious dough. There's some really great prizes. So, Mike, go ahead and hit the video. Show us a little bit more about Operation Underground Railroad and what they do, and then we will jump into this interactive trivia that we have.
All right, here we go.
I never dreamed that I would work in Haiti. I didn't know anything really about Haiti until I learned about a little boy who was born in Utah, U.S. citizen, and was kidnapped in Haiti from his church, where his father was the pastor. I read about it in the local newspaper. I thought that I could make it into a U.S. case, and I couldn't because it wasn't. We had to leave our jobs. I had to leave my job because I just had to do something about it. We went to Haiti to look for his son.
Yeah, it's right here, right here.
And we never found him.
People weren't talking about human trafficking like they are now. And really it's because of the work and efforts by organizations like Operation Underground Railroad.
It's a subject that nobody wants to think about or talk about. It's the worst part of humanity.
Okay. Wow.
And yet, we've got to do something about it.
Please get on the ground right now. Get on the ground. Get on the ground right now. No problem. Get on the ground. Put that down. Get on the ground.
Every 30 seconds, a child is sold. They're sold for sex, they're sold for labor, they're sold for organ harvesting, which is something we're now getting into. There's 6 million children that are forced into one of those 3 categories right now, and the world doesn't know.
Not a lot of people know, but the profile for men who travel abroad to have sex with kids are American citizens.
The U.S. creates the demand. The highest producer and consumer of child pornography is right here in the United States.
Well, if you lost one of your children to one of these evil people, you'd do anything to get even and get your child back.
I had a knock on my door one day. Tim said, listen, I really feel like I can do better leaving the government.
I'd find a group of kids in Guatemala or Colombia, and I couldn't do anything about it because it wasn't a U.S. case. It's outside of the jurisdiction, and I understood that. However, that doesn't mean that we couldn't be doing more.
Tim Ballard left his law enforcement career, everything that he knew, his pension, his security, to start a nonprofit called Operation Underground Railroad. They've done jumps everywhere throughout the world, rescued kids, and then helped them get to a safe place with their aftercare programs.
He had a way that we could really make an impact, but they needed $1 million to start. And I said, I'm in.
We had set up this operation that looked like it went flawless.
We unfortunately got some very frustrating news.
The traffickers were being released and that all the girls were released.
They paid money to the right people, to the judges. The job's not quite done, but it's almost done because now we need to go back and we need to rearrest every single one of these traffickers. It will be a message to Haiti, to America, to the whole world, that there are good people everywhere that will stand up for this.
Crazy.
Cool. Powerful.
That's tough. So what that was, that's a video trailer for an actual documentary of a large sting operation that Operation Underground Railroad did, I think, 1.5 years ago. But it's powerful to show you guys a little bit of the intensity that organization has, the stuff they actually have to go through, and the impact that they make. Because, you know, through this Days of Nugget event, that's who is being supported. That's who, you know, this money is being raised is going to. And we wanted you guys to see that this is a big operation. This is the real deal. And it's extremely, extremely, extremely valuable work that they're doing. So thank you guys for watching through that for a second. And I hope that Emily's saying she cried the first time she saw that video. I'm not going to lie. It's it's pretty hard. Every time I see that video or others like it, it's kind of tugs at the heartstrings. Frankly, makes me a little bit sick. So now, Mike, I guess we need to bring in our buddy Yoni, right?
Yeah, here we go. Yoni Mazer from Gatita.
Yoni! What's up, buddy?
How's it going, fellas?
You're yodeling, Tim. What's up, Yoni?
All good, all good. I learned a lot of new stuff, including little Timmy, you know?
Little Timmy.
Yeah,
Emily in the comments from YouTube was saying she'd kind of like to see me rap. Listen, it doesn't happen often, but when it happens, it's pretty epic. And by epic, I mean terrible, but it's entertaining to say the least. So
I'll pay a lot of money for that, just so you know. So money down.
First of all, we need to do something here. Those of you that are watching this, you know, please understand that there was a lot of work that went in behind the scenes. There's a mountain of people that actually had to be hired to edit all these clips, all these nuggets. Someone had to build the website. Someone had to do all this work, and all of that had to be paid for, right? And there are 3 exceptionally awesome sponsors that, you know, kind of the premier sponsors that funded this and put this together for you guys so that you guys can get these nuggets. And I want to talk about them briefly. The first one is Gatita. And Yanni, really quick, before we get into this trivia contest that you have, could you just explain, you know, just a short snippet of what Gatita does and how Gatita is valuable to e-commerce sellers?
Yeah, sure. Essentially, Gatita, we're a technology company. And our claim to fame is our ability to help Amazon sellers get back money that's theirs, but they pretty much didn't know about. And the way that we do it is through FBA reimbursement. So we're going to go back into your Amazon account. We're going to go back 18 months. We're going to scrutinize all the data. Any of your items that got lost, damaged, destroyed, disappeared, disposed, overcharged, anything like that, which was unattended, we're going to find it. We're going to open a case for it. We're going to get you reimbursed and only charge you a fee if we're successful. So the idea is really to bring you back money from the dead, money you never expected to have. And hopefully you'll take that money, reinvest it into your Amazon business, invest more into PPC, maybe feel comfortable enough to take a loan, right? Because if you want to take a loan, it's liability, you need more cash flow. So for whatever purpose or need that you need for your business is going to help you with putting more money, more liquid into your account, and hopefully grow the business from there.
Great. And I have seen some exceptional stuff done from Getita, from big sellers that thought they had gotten all the reimbursements that they were eligible, and Getita went in and just cleaned house for them. So thank you, Yanni, for not just for the good service, but for really stepping up to the plate and becoming a sponsor for this event so that we can get good content out there and that the money that's raised through this can go to Operation Underground Railroad, not putting all of the content together and things like that. The second sponsor that we have is PPC Entourage. PPC Entourage is a PPC company that was founded in part by Mike here, our very own Mike Zagari. So Mike, if you would talk just for a second about PPC Entourage, what they do, and your involvement with them.
Yeah, so PPC Entourage is a full-service advertising tool. We've been around since 2015, so we're like the granddad, the dinosaurs of the group here, but we have a great service where we help sellers maximize their advertising. So if you're looking to spend less with your advertising, if you're looking to scale your advertising, this is a tool to help you do so. We also have a full service agency with some really great people to help you grow your business. If this is a part of your business that you're struggling with, there's all these different ad types. I mean, it's coming out like crazy. Every single week, there's a new thing that Amazon releases. We're on top of that to help you scale your business. Now, one other little piece of this, we also have the margins tool. And the margins tool is a tool that you can use to know more about your business, to know more on an individual SKU by SKU basis, what's eating away at the profitability of your SKUs. So it's really cool because you can diagnose problems, you can steer the ship in a more profitable direction, and you can simply make better decisions with the margins tool. So that's my spiel, Tim, and I think we're up to you.
Yeah, so the third premier sponsor is Sellers Funding. And for those of you that have seen me around and know me, I've been in this space for, 5 or 6 years now, and I've done a lot. I've been involved in a lot of things. I still am involved in a lot of things. And I have gotten to work with some incredible companies in the space. And early last year, I started working initially as a consultant with Sellers Funding. And I didn't know anything about finance, but I quickly figured out that Sellers Funding is not just about finance. They're all about growth. So part of my involvement with Sellers Funding has gotten to be, to work on product development, things like that. So Sellers Funding now is the premier working capital solution for e-commerce sellers. Amazon, Shopify, Magento, whatever, huge potential credit limits. We can support people in various countries. We also have an incredible daily advance product, which is a lot less expensive and more flexible than a lot of the competitors out there. And then we have a very robust digital wallet, which does a lot of stuff from currency conversion, supplier pay, marketplace payouts in multiple places. It's huge. It is the biggest service portfolio for financial tools, I guess, especially in the Amazon space, but it's not just Amazon, it's e-commerce in general. So I remember when Mike called me, was talking about Days and Nuggets. He said, hey, we need to raise a bunch of money to put this together. We called the CEO of Sellers Funding as the first call. And no, actually we were in person. We met him in person. He said, yeah, whatever we got to do, let's stroke a check. Let's get it done. So Sellers Funding, appreciate you guys and the leadership there for helping make this possible. So we've done it. We've talked about sponsors. Now we can get on to the fun stuff. So Yanni, if you would introduce this trivia thing that you have for us, and let's get that started. And those of you that are watching this is a chance for you to interact, for you to get involved, and for you to kind of show us how smart you are in this thing.
Got it. So it's time to share the screen. All righty, let's do that. Give me just a moment.
Yanni, you able to share your screen?
Yeah, let me just make sure I click the right buttons here.
Okay, cool.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, did I get the right one? What do you guys see?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. We're good.
$250? Are you serious?
Bring it. I want to win.
You serious, Clark?
We serious, man. We're serious. Okay, so welcome everybody to our live trivia and enter a chance to win $250. We're gonna make it short and sweet. Sometimes I can drag this for hours and have fun with this. But Mike, what's our time limit today?
3 hours. No, I'm kidding. You know, what did it say? 25. Tim's in charge of the time frame, but what, 25
I
minutes?
specifically told you to watch the time because I'm
All right, free reign. I got a free ticket in. No, I'll keep it at 25 to 30 minutes, so it's gonna be only 5 questions as opposed to like usual 10. Okay, so let's kind of get moving on. Let's see what we got. A short introduction to Getira. We kind of did it. You know, I gotta do this to you know, keep my lip service. You know, this is what we are. Just help you maximize your Amazon FBA reimbursements, whether you never did it before. Even if you do, we can get you more. Where you can find us online, getira.com, of course, also daysandnuggets.com, but also you can find us on the Amazon App Store. What does it mean? It means we're an authorized service provider by Amazon. So we have a double commitment. We have a commitment to the sellers, right, to get them the maximum, and also a commitment to Amazon to make sure we're terms of service compliant, and also private policy, data policy, making sure we're not selling your data or creating the same products as you or competing with you and stuff like that. So it's really good to know if you're looking for any solution for your Amazon account, start with the Amazon App Store, because Amazon is really good at vetting service providers the same way they're good at vetting sellers, hopefully. Okay, guys. To enter the trivia, this is what you got to do. It's pretty simple. You just use your computer or your phone and visit menti.com, menti.com, and put this code, right, 9597908. Put your information there. We're going to use that information to reach out to you just in case you win. Once again, the prize is going to be $250. It's going to be about 5 questions. It's going to be a little bit poll questions just before that, just to warm you up, so you're going to know how to use this this module. But once again, just go to menti.com, okay, and put this code in to enter the free trivia. It's going to be fun stuff. Okay, we're going to just ask about Amazon general stuff to see who is really really deep into their knowledge of knowing Amazon inside out and all the nuances. Yeah.
I'm playing. If I get all of these wrong, will you promise not to make fun of me?
Yeah, I'm actually might have to charge you some money, you know, if you show a deficit in knowing your stuff, then I might have to charge. One thing about, also just as a side note, you know, we recommend you to enter and join and just have fun with this and make money. But of course, it's optional. Oh yeah, you're in. Yeah, that's what it looks like on your phone. You're gonna be able to put your answers in. You also see that at any point you have like a question, anything you want to add, you can add a comment. Okay, maybe towards the end, if we do get some time, we'll be able to answer some questions. Once again, I guess the whole idea of Days and Nuggets is to learn, right? For Amazon sellers to learn as much as possible. Hopefully learn things that will help them move the needle maybe immediately, maybe a few weeks from now or months from now, even a few years from now. Okay, so hopefully this trivia will help move the needles in some sort of direction, but and also pay you for that if you're really successful in knowing your Amazon stuff. All right, one last time, menti.com, and put this code 9597908. Put your information real quick, and we'll be on our way. Let's give another like 30 seconds. We're gonna roll in one question just to fill it out, so people are familiar how to use it, and then we'll give a second chance for the late comers. We'll give them a second chance to enter the competition, but that's gonna be really the last opportunity to get on board before the train leaves the station into the promised land of 12 Days and Nuggets. I don't know, promised land of something.
First nug drop.
Yeah, the first knob drop. Yeah, there we go. So I see you're in.
We're gonna call that the big show.
The big show, right? The grand opening, right? All right, so let's give it 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get it started. Okay, this is just a poll question, just an icebreaker, so people are are familiar on how to use this. What type of business are you, right? So we're gonna see what kind of people we have in our digital room. Are you a brand owner? Are you a reseller, arbitrage seller? Are you a brand owner and a reseller? Are you an agency? Are you a service provider? Or none? You're just here to learn, which is cool as well. Okay, just so you get to know and feel the system, and get your fingers, to work. Let's give it another, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds. Let me check it here. Alrighty. A second.
Yoni, they can ask a question and it goes to you.
It's gonna go. I'm gonna see it popping down here, and I'll pull it up. So if any questions come in, I'll be able to see it. Of course, I think they can also put questions on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you're seeing this live event. Okay, we got some results in. Let's pull it up, and then we'll give it another chance to to enter the competition. Let's see who we have in our room. All right, overwhelming majority are brand owners. Okay, I guess it's kind of expected, but then we have a nice bunch of resellers, arbitrage seller. That's interesting, and then we have I guess what I call the lethal combination, which is the brand owners and the resellers. Okay, so you have two legs. You're doing arbitrage, you're reselling top brands, but you also pampering your own brands, which is pretty interesting. We got the agencies, service providers, and we got no beginners. Nobody's here really just trying to learn, which is interesting. It means that we have serious, heavy people. So that's kind of the icebreaker.
Yanni, you can't say we have heavy people. I know
Heavy,
it's the holidays and
heavy
we've all
people
gained
in
the
terms of knowledge. In terms of
COVID-19, but
knowledge,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
call us fat. Come on, man.
Heavy set. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy on knowledge, man. The drop in knowledge. That's all I'm saying. It's all intellectual words.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got
The whole
you.
play is intellectual. Yeah. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, let's move to the next slide here. Once again, if you didn't enter your information in order to enter the contest, this is your last chance. If you already did it, you don't have to do it again. Okay, so if you put your information, you don't have to do it again. If you like to enter the competition and would like us to pay you if you're going to win, this is your chance. Visit menti.com and put this code 9597908. Once again, www.menti.com and put this information and then put your information. And then this is the last chance to enter. Once again, if you did this, you don't have to do it again. If you did not, this is your last chance to enter the live trivia. And then we'll give, I guess, another 30 seconds. I need a 30-second shtick. Give me a 30-second shtick. Tim, what you got? Rapping days?
You just gonna put me on the spot like that?
You open mic rap. This is all it is.
He's gonna make you rap too. Freestyle.
I would totally rap right now, but I don't have a beat, so I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint.
He's got an excuse, but no beat.
I will say I'm looking at this right now. We have a lot of people that are watching on various Facebook groups, various Facebook pages. It's kind of spread out all over the internet right now, and it's live on YouTube.
Orange Click.
Make sure to share this around if you get a chance. That's I think it's worth sharing.
Yeah, I'll give a huge shout out to Augustus from Orange Click. Thank you so much for helping us set this event up and utilizing the channel. Really, really kind, really, really nice. Much appreciated. Great guy. Okay, I guess we got a few more that hovered in. I think we swallowed our 30 seconds. So that's it. No more people to enter. This is it. This is the competition. So let's move to the next slide. Another icebreaker. What is your primary retail category? You can actually you can answer it a few answers. So if you sell more than one category, you can enter it. So you focus more on clothing, shoes, and jewelry, more on electronics, grocery and gourmet, health and household, pet supplies, toys and game, whatever it is, you can enter. So if you do more than one category, you can put it in. Not an issue. It just is, once again, just to break the ice, to know who is with us today, what kind of caliber, so to speak. So we'll give you a chance to do that. Another thing I think I'm realizing is that there's a delay. There's maybe a 20-second delay between what I'm saying and actually what you guys see. So I'm going to have to be...
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, I'm trying to correlate. So I have two screens, the ones that I see now and the delay. So it's
I know I've got the live StreamYard on this screen, and I've got what's playing on this screen, and it's tripping me out because I can see both.
Oh, there's
right? Like I'm getting car sick almost, like seeing this delay.
You're getting social media sick and from all the movement. But yeah, I think Einstein talked about the relativity. When you see, somebody dropping a watch inside, let's say, aircraft, like a space aircraft, whatever. So they see it normally, but if you look outside of it, it actually looks much, much slower. It's all relative on your angle.
Well, I feel like you're just such a wealth of knowledge, Yanni. Thank you for this physics lesson today.
That was useless, but yeah, thank you for just to burn some time. Yeah. Okay, so I think I see a match between on my screen, which is right now 14, and I'll give another second until I see it with the delay of the 14, and that's gonna be my cue to pull up the answers. So I'll give it another few moments with your permission, guys. All right, there's my 14 cue. Let's see the answers. Let's see what we've got today. Boom.
Look at that.
Oh, buddy. So we got heavy focus on home and kitchen. Okay, the next runner-up will be, I guess, office products, and then tools and home improvement. Also, we got toys and games, pretty good. Pet supplies, sports and outdoors. All right, nice variety, eclectic, as they say. All right, the last question, this kind of biased, but how often do you audit your FBA fees for accuracy and potential reimbursements? Okay, basically, how often do you audit your Amazon account for FBA discrepancies? Shipments that got lost, or units that got lost, units that got destroyed, fees that got overcharged, all that good stuff that nobody wants to deal with. How often do you do it? Right? Is it never? Do you do it daily? Do you do it weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly? Not applicable because you don't even utilize FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon. So this is kind of a biased question that we have, because that's what we live in. We live in the domain of constantly checking FBA transactions. Although it sounds very tedious and boring and great, we try to make a kick out of it. That's kind of our claim to fame. And this is where we find our pleasure. And I see the answers are coming in pretty quickly. We got 13. Let's do one more, guys. We got 13 answers on the bottom. I see the delay is 10 on the screen. Okay.
You're there.
Yeah. Let's see what kind of crowd we got. What kind of cleanup? People clean their accounts every day, every week, once a month, once a quarter, once a year. We'll see what kind of caliber we got. Let's shoot up the results. Boom, never.
Oh, people, come on. That's free money.
Free money. So yeah, whoever clicked on that never option, there's money for you. Guaranteed money. You got to go to the doctor. You got to go immediately. There's money waiting for you to be paid. You're going to go visit the doctor, but actually the doctor is going to make sure you get paid. So if anybody needs any help, there's solutions out there to make sure that you can audit your Amazon account for FBA discrepancies. It happens to be the Getira, but one of them, and we'll be delighted to help you if there's any need. Just I want to send it out as a quick reminder. Any dollar that you're going to donate to 12 Days of Nuggets, we're going to match it with free FBA reimbursements. So for example, if you're going to donate $500, which I hope you do, we're going to get you back $500. We're not going to charge you a penny. So any dollar you send back to help others, you're going to get it back. But the only caveat is the cap is $10,000. So if you donate $10,000, we're going to get you that back in Amazon FBA reimbursements. If you donate $10,000 and $1 extra, that's on you already. The $10,000 we're still going to take care of you. Okay, that's when we cap it. Just to clarify on that. We got a question from somebody. What the best methods for pricing product merchandising by Amazon for starting AMS method? Okay, I'm not sure. That's kind of Chinese to me. Maybe one of you guys know. But you can address it later on after the trivia. Okay, good.
I want to get some contest. I want to make some money.
There we go. Yeah, that was the warm-up. Warm-up, everybody feels cozy with the platform. They know how to kind of play with it. It's all good. Now we're going to hit it for the money. So let's go. All right, guys. Trivia question number 1. Which one of these companies was not, and I repeat, was not founded by an Amazon by an ex-Amazonian, basically an ex-Amazon employee? Okay. Which company? Is it Hulu.com? Is it Jet.com, Quora.com, Zappos.com, or Buybox Experts? Okay, I'm going to give a timer, guys, actually, on this.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
You're Googling it right now. You're not going to have time.
That's okay. It's not so easy to find on Google. I made sure it's not so easy to find on Google.
Giving people ideas.
Huh?
Yeah. No, I just ruined it for myself, didn't I?
No, it's all right. I'm well diverse with these trivias. I made sure it's not so easy to find on Google. You really have to kind of dive into finding all the components of the answers. But in any case, once again, the question is, which one of these companies was not founded by an ex-Amazonian? It's kind of a double negative, I would assume, right?
Well,
they're not in Amazon anymore, or they went there after they were in Amazon, and they were not founded by them. Which companies was not founded by an ex-Amazonian? Is it Hulu, Jet, Quora, Zappos, or Buybox Experts? Okay, we got 12 answers. Let's try to get one more into the game. One more came in. Let's see if we can get one more. It's like those auctions, you got those people that speak fast in the auction.
Do you think they go to school for that? Like, how do they learn to speak that fast?
I don't know.
I know
it. Eat spicy food. Spicy food. You gotta eat spicy food. You just say your words fast. How
does spicy food?
I gotta let me just. I'm gonna get you some water. Boom. That's it. Something like that. Okay, we got 13 answers in. Let's bring out the results. Let's see what you guys say. Ba-boom.
Ba-boom.
Ba-boom. Let's see what you guys said.
No clear answer.
It's okay. So the right answer is Zappos. So whoever chose Zappos, that's correct. This is a little tricky because Zappos was purchased by Amazon at some point. And this question is a little bit of a tribute to Tony Hsieh, who passed away, I believe, a week ago. He was the founder of Zappos and the CEO. There was an accident in his house, or a fire accident in Connecticut, and he lost his life. So that's kind of a tribute to him. This question, he made it. He was tremendously successful with Zappos. So Jeff Bezos and Amazon bought him, and they stayed as Zappos inside of Amazon's ecosystem, which is rare on its own. So much respect to that. So all the rest of these companies were actually founded by ex-Amazon employees. So we got Buybook Experts, which is James Thompson, kind of a big guy in the Amazon community world. You got Hulu.com, ex-Amazonian, Jet.com, and Quora.com. All these websites were from ex-Amazonian, so it shows you what kind of caliber of talent Amazon is hosting with its ranks, and how it makes it a global leader. All right, next question. Let's see what we got. What did Jeff Bezos say to the team leader of the failed Fire Phone project? I don't know if you guys remember this, but a few years ago back, Amazon invested over a few $1 billion to develop, to set up, and the whole thing, to launch a product on Amazon. When they do it big. And I guess they wanted to rub shoulders with all the big ones, right? Samsung, you got LG, you got Google, you got obviously Apple, you got Xiaomi, all these good guys. They wanted to compete, and it was a big failure. Okay, flunked completely. So what did Jeff Bezos say to the team leader who actually was part of the project? Did he tell him, "You're fired," or did he say, "Oh well, back to day one for you," or did he say, "You can't for 1 minute feel bad," or did he say, "Your paycheck will not cover for the losses"? All right, or he said, "Pack it up, you have reached your Amazon Prime."
Pack it up.
Okay. So what was the phrase that Amazon actually said to the leader of the failed Fire Phone project? Okay. So this is an interesting case of Amazon, placing a big bet, hundreds of millions, if not over $1 billion, and then making it a complete failure. That I think they expected to sell like a good amount of a few million units, at least at the launch. But I think all in they sold like 25,000, 35,000 units, which was an extreme failure. Even they tried to get rid of it by saying, whatever you buy on Amazon, you add $1, you get this phone. Nobody wanted it. They could barely even use it as toilet paper, these phones or whatever. So it wasn't the most greatest success that they had. So let's see what Jeff Bezos said to the guy that was in charge of this project, right? So we got 11 answers coming in. Let's give another, 15 seconds. 15, 14.
I see a double negative. Your paycheck will not cover the losses. That's a double negative there. What does that mean?
Your paycheck, meaning you can't earn enough to pay for this mistake. In other words, I think that's what he tried to say.
Can't picture him saying that.
Huh? Well, Jeff Bezos, if maybe Jeff, when he talks about paycheck, he has a different caliber. We'll see. But in any case, okay, we got 11 answers. I think 15 seconds went by. Let's see what you guys said. Okay, most of the answers are correct. Okay, he said we got you can't for 1 minute feel bad. That is the correct answer. He did not say, "Oh well, back to day one for you." Okay, so that's kind of an amazing astonishment by Jeff Bezos, saying, I lost a massive bet on this, and whoever the team leader is, I'm not gonna sack him or anything. I'm just gonna tell him, don't even for a minute feel bad. Just keep marching forward. And ultimately, Jeff Bezos was right by having this approach, because what the Amazon Fire eventually brought to life, to a great success. Not many people know this, is Alexa, because what was really innovative with the phone is the Alexa, the voice recognition software, which gave birth to Alexa, which today we all know it's ubiquitous in many, many homes around the world, especially in the United States. So that was a great success. So even if you bet big on something that failed, what's going to be the offspring of that might be tremendous success. So it's a great lesson to the business world, but for Amazon sellers in detail. So I hope you guys like that question. All right, trivia question number 3. All right, once again, this is for the money. Whoever gets all the questions correct will get $250. Whoever, if not everybody got all the questions correctly, the next runner-up will get the prize. Okay, which Amazon app allows to search for products on Amazon by taking a picture of a product and not typing words? In other words, if I'm a consumer on Amazon, I want to find something to buy. There's pretty much 3 options. One option, I just go and put the type words into the search box. The second one is I do voice with Alexa. Say, Alexa, I want to get blah, blah, blah. The third option is taking a picture of a product, and that's going to basically find the product for me on Amazon. Okay. So what is it called? Is it called Prime Dash, Prime Flow, Prime Go, Prime Snap? Or is it Amazon Dash, Amazon Flow, Amazon Go, or Amazon Snap? Okay. What are the options? And what is the actual name of the app that, allows you to find the product on Amazon through, a picture, taking a picture.
It's
So let's
crazy.
see.
I've never even heard of this before.
There we go. There we go. I'll be honest with you. This question actually I prepared. I don't know if it's gonna go out or not because we're kind of still working on it. But Mike, I wanted to do my nugget. My golden nugget on this topic because I have a feeling that many Amazon sellers are not aware of this option and they're underutilizing this opportunity to catch some traffic, free traffic by posing their images like the top brands that Amazon is pushing through their marketing channels. And simply by posing, setting your images just like L'Oreal or KitchenAid or whatever it is that you're trying to sell. And whenever the consumers take pictures of that from Amazon's catalogs and magazines that they're printing and putting in every household in the United States, your search result, your product will come up with their search result, and you'll be able to get traffic out of it. And so I kind of spilled the beans on my nugget.
You just released the first nugget, Yanni.
Oh, snap. Okay, got it.
Is that what it's called? Snap? Is it
no, not yet. So hold on, people are taking their time. We got to
give the answer.
No. I said Snap. Like I'm trying to talk there, but there's actually for Snap there's two options also. That's why it's a little bit of a tricky situation here.
Snap.
Yeah, there's two snaps. But not saying that's the answer. Once again, I'm not biased. In any case, yeah, that's a first kind of nugget. But my actual nugget, I did a video and I show a few examples of that, simple examples that hopefully some of you might be able to relate and hopefully be relevant for you. So I did a sneak peek on the first nug. Okay, we got 13 answers in. I like it. Let's see what you guys have, and then boom.
Whoa. There we go.
You guys took the bait. Most of you thought it's Amazon Snap or Prime Snap or Amazon Go. Amazon Go, if whoever doesn't know, it's actual stores that you can just take a product and go and not even use your wallet. But the correct answer is Amazon Flow.
Get out of here.
Yes, sir. Amazon Flow.
Wow.
Whoever got that, I got much respect to that. Whoever got that answer right, I got much respect.
Lucky guess.
You see, you had all the time in the world to go on Google, but it wasn't easy. This is like vintage stuff. So Amazon Flow, you can take a picture and it will populate all these results for you. And the younger generation is adopting that. And the reason why I know is because when I got the Amazon catalog for this year for all the holiday gift guide and all that good stuff, my daughters were looking at all the toys like, Daddy, I want this, I want that. And the Amazon highlights over there says, take a snapshot with the app. It'll come up. You'll see the videos or whatever it is. So that's what I did. And when I took a snapshot, it was super cool. Has all these all these dots populating and trying to read the image, and boom, it populates all these results, and they make it look a bit magical. So I recommend anybody that's listening to this for the first time, check it out. Take your Amazon shopping app and snap on things and see how it looks like. All right, that's the answer for that. Let's move on. Trivia question number 4. What was the original name planned for the Amazon Kindle ebook reader? You got it? Did they plan to call it Alexa? Right, the Kindle, tablets essentially.
Yeah.
The ebook reader. That's a professional name they gave it. But what was the original name that they had in mind for this device? Is it Alexa? Is it Cole? Is it Fiona? Is it Flame? Is it Mackenzie? Or is it Spark? What was the original name planned for the Amazon Kindle ebook reader? Okay.
I'll be honest, I'm not doing very well in this competition.
No, I'm not taking home the bacon with this one.
All right. If you're Jewish and listening to this, you're not taking the chicken soup on this. Okay. We don't do the bacon thing.
Got to be politically correct.
Exactly. And if you're vegetarian, you're not taking the tofu soup.
Yeah, whatever. Tofu.
Tofu.
Yeah, tofu miso soup or something. So this is the option, guys. What was the original name planned for the Amazon Kindle ebook or the Amazon tablet? Was it Alexa? Was it Cole? Was it Fiona? Was it Flame? Was it Mackenzie? Or was it Spark? What was the original name planned for that? Answers are coming in. They're coming in fast and furious. Let's give another few moments. All righty. What's in the name, right? They say what's in the name. That's how we were kind of trying to discover. Let's see what you guys think. All right, let's give another 10 seconds, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put your answers in. Submit it in. It's time. Okay. All right, let's see what you got. And boom. Okay, most of the money is on Spark because it's a very cool name that probably couldn't hurt for them to have Spark, but that's the incorrect answer. Flame is another cool name, but the actual answer is, I don't know how you guys knew this, but it's Fiona.
What? That was like the one I expected it not to be. Wow.
I know. I was like,
Fiona.
This is a Shrek throwback. This can't be Amazon spending.
So Fiona is actually a name from a book that had in mind this kind of futuristic device where you can read book like a tablet. So that was kind of the tribute for this character from this famous book. You can look it up online later. So that's as far as I know. So they wanted to do it as a tribute. But Fiona, you compare, Fiona to Kindle. I guess they eventually got their senses and went with something that is more about fire, more about flame, more about thrust, or whatever it is. Omar said something. What did Omar say? He was thinking the same thing about what?
About
Mike.
Fiona.
About Fiona.
Name.
Yeah.
Not a good name.
Yeah. No, I think maybe we got too heavily tainted by Shrek. Maybe at that point they're like, too Shreky. Let's give it another chance, and they came up with the Kindle. But I think Spark will be a cool name, right?
That's cool.
Be good.
Yeah, Spark Reader. Make sure when you read books, a lot of sparks going on over there. All right, guys, this 4 question. We're heading to the last trivia question. Okay, whatever it was. Don't worry. You don't have to get them all correctly. You just have to get most of them correctly, or more than the others. So this is the last question. Let's hit it up. Okay. Once again, this biased. If a seller or an Amazon seller got overcharged with FBA pick and pack fees, right? How far back can a seller get reimbursed? All right. So if let's say you sell a product that is this size is it's less than a pound, less than 10 inches, and it's supposed to charge you $2.50 every time they pick it from the bin. They package it in a box and they ship it out. Okay, and they charge a fee for that. It's called the pick and pack fee. Instead of charging you $2.50, they charge you $10 because they think your item is like 100 pounds and 100 inches, right? Because the way they charge you is based on the weight and dimensions. So if you got overcharged, let's say you got $7.50 overcharged, right? They charge you $10 instead of $2.50. And you sold 1,000 units, and they overcharge you altogether $7,500. And they did this for the past year. How far can you get back? Okay, or if they did it for the past, I don't know, few years, how far can you get back in getting your money back? Okay, is it 1 month? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Is it 9 months? Is it 18 months? Or no time limit? Okay, once again, if Amazon overcharge you with FBA pick and pack fees, how far can you get reimbursed for that overcharge? Okay. Is it 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, or no time limit? It's evergreen. Even if you sell an FBA fulfillment by Amazon for the past 10 years and they overcharge you for the past 10 years, they charge you $1 million. You just go back and scoop out all that $1 million and put it back in your pocket. Okay. What is the time limit? What is the time frame? When does it get expired? Questions, guys, so far, gentlemen? I need to burn 15 to 20 seconds until I get all the answers in.
You don't want dead air, huh?
Huh?
I think I know this answer. I'm pretty confident on this answer.
If you guys sell on Amazon and utilize FBA, if you don't know this answer, once again, you got to go back to the doctor. I guess in this case,
I think it was 3 months.
How many?
3. That was my guess.
Got it. Okay, so now that you said it, I'm going to close the clock and boom, submit the answers. And that is the correct answer, Mr. Jordan. Little Tim was
right.
You got it right. Okay, most of you guys thought it's 18 months, which is incorrect. You got 3 months. Okay, so this is a little bit of a tricky question because last year in 2019 they changed it. It used to be 18 months, you could go back, but then they narrowed the window down to 3 months. Okay, so a prudent seller checks hopefully every month, but at the very least every 3 months they check if they get overcharged with fees. So hopefully if they did get charged with fees, hopefully they have enough time to get all of that back, because if you check your account once a year and they charge you 100 grand with fees overcharged, and the past 90 days they only charge you 30 grand, you're gonna get back 30 grand. All that $70,000 is kaput, it's gone. Okay, so hopefully this will be an educational, and profitable a question for you guys to learn from. So hopefully you get your money back in time and never let it go to waste. Okay, if it's too much of a headache, so you don't even know where to begin, you can reach out to Getira. We can help you with that. So that's why it's kind of a biased question, but it holds in it a lot of money and a lot of opportunity to put money back in your pocket. All right, so that was 5 questions. Congratulations to whoever won. We're gonna announce it soon. But listen. In all seriousness, in this event, everybody is kind of a winner. If you donate, you help others. That's an immediate win. So I'm reminding you with the special offer that we have. Getira will match your donation, right, to 12 Days of Nuggets with free FBA reimbursements up to $10,000. Whatever you can, even if it's $10, just donate. We'll get you that back, okay? Up to $10,000. If you write a check or send credit card, $10,000 to 12 Days of Nuggets, Getira will make sure to get you back $10,000 back in FBA reimbursements. It might take us a day, it might take us a year, but we'll do for you, okay? That's our commitment. So hopefully you're all going to contribute. So thank you very much. If any questions, you can email me directly or just visit getira.com. But another thing I kind of want to mention is, so hopefully this is going to entice you guys to donate more. We're in a very, very special position, all of us that it's who are in the e-commerce space, okay? And this year we're really one of the biggest winners economically of the year, right? So you have other industries who got heavily affected. You got, air travel, you got hospitality, you got even brick and mortar. But Amazon sellers in the e-commerce community has experienced a tremendous boom and success. So if this was the case for you this year, okay, we congratulate you for that. But take a moment now, take a little, small breath, and say, what can you do to help humanity and society in the world? So hopefully with this event, with the Days of Nuggets, you'll be able to just go, and donate whatever you can, a few dollars, a few pennies. If you really made it big, just give big. Don't worry about it. We're going to have your bag, Getira. We're going to make sure you get that money back. So it kind of makes it a no-brainer, but obviously the main purpose is just to help others. And we just want to make it much easier for you to make that decision and open up your heart with generosity. So that's kind of it, folks, gentlemen. I'm going to try to give it back to you if I can. I think I might have hijacked the whole screen and I don't even know how to get it back to you. So let me do stop screen and kaboom. Okay, I think I got it.
Thank you, Getira. Thank you for sponsoring this event too.
Our pleasure, really. This we can do.
Thank you so much. So when do we find out the winner?
I'll try to pull out right now. So if you guys can bear with me, you guys keep rolling, and I'll entertain you live as I try to pull up the results. So hopefully we have a name for you guys.
And while you're pulling it up, let's kind of briefly introduce our next guest. Our next guest is actually from Operation Underground Railroad. And Mike, if you want to intro our guest a little bit while Yoni is pulling up that winner, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so our next guest, his name is Hayden Paul from Operation Underground Railroad. Hayden, let me add him to the screen. Hayden, do you work donor relations? What's up, Hayden?
Yes, what's up? How you doing? It's good to be here.
Really good. Hey, and I know I follow Hayden too. He's got a great podcast out there as well. So welcome to the show, Hayden. Happy to have you.
Excited to be here. Thank you for what you guys are doing.
Yeah, were you on the mega event last year?
Yeah, I was
there was a whole panel of people last year. From OUR, and you were there, right?
You have to be here again. Yeah.
Awesome. So tell us what's been going on with Operation Underground Railroad over the last year.
Yeah, this year has been incredible. Obviously, 2020 has been a heck of a year for a lot of people, and we've been so blessed that luckily the pandemic hasn't played a huge role in us growing as an organization. Unfortunately, one of the aspects of this pandemic is that child trafficking and child sexual exploitation has actually been growing. And it's because there's a lot of kids that are home and they're on the internet, and there's a lot of ways that these predators have been accessing children and exploiting them sexually. And so our work has been ever more important. And right now we're standing at over 4,500 children rescued as an organization since the beginning. And so luckily we've been able to continue our work. Operations have been a little bit hard with the whole no traveling and stuff, but we still have been able to support and rescue a lot of children and really put a lot of our resources into the aftercare side of things. And so we're supporting over 7,000 survivors in aftercare now. And it's incredible.
Awesome, Hayden. So that's up 500 since August, because I remember you guys celebrated your 4,000th survivor in August.
Yeah.
Of those 500 kids that were saved, is that international? Is that US, or is it a mix of both?
It's a mix of both. We have grown incredibly domestically, which is awesome because there's trafficking is ever more prevalent here in the United States, and we want to make sure that we take care of the problem here at home. And so a lot of the I can't give you a specific percentage, but a lot of those rescues have been happening in conjunction with our law enforcement partners here in the United States. So, and I have a story that I wanted to share with you guys, a personal story, because we can get lost in these numbers a lot of times, right? Like 4,500, that's incredible. But sometimes we forget about the individuals. And if you want, I'd love to share a story about one of my heroes, one of our survivors.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I can share my screen and actually show you a picture of it, if that's cool, of our survivor.
Yeah.
Obviously face blurred, but so let's see if I go. Is it showing right now?
Yeah, you're showing your screen.
Okay, cool. So do you see the picture of Sabrina?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. So this is Sabrina. She is one of my personal heroes. We call her Little Wonder Woman because of how big of a hero she is. She's from, obviously her name's not Sabrina. We don't share our survivors' names, but she is from Central America. And like a lot of heroes, her story starts off with tragedy. Sabrina was 7 years old and was being sexually abused, and videos of her sexual abuse were posted online. With working with our law enforcement partners in Central America, our operators luckily found these videos, were able to identify Sabrina and rescue her from her situation. And with our law enforcement partners, we were able to apprehend the 2 traffickers that were found in that operation. Sabrina comes to our aftercare home, and then comes the hard part, because to make an actual prosecution stick, you have to have the victim or the survivor testify. And this can be a really hard thing for a survivor of human trafficking, especially a young survivor, to sit down and to give an account of the things that were done to them, the abuse. And a lot of times that's in front of the actual abusers, the actual traffickers. So it takes a lot of courage, and it can be very traumatic. And so we don't have our survivors always do this, especially if we feel like it's going to be bad to their mental health and into their healing process. But when this idea was brought to Sabrina, she immediately was like, yes, I want to do it, because I want to make sure that these traffickers don't hurt any more little girls like me. And so Sabrina courageously walked into the courtroom and gave her testimony. And her testimony actually led to the rescue, and her testimony and her working with law enforcement led to the rescue of 3 more little girls who were being trafficked, ages 10, 11, and 13. And then on top of that, her testimonies led to the additional arrest of 2 American traffickers who had sexually abused her and the other 3 girls. And now Sabrina shares an aftercare home and is finding healing with these 3 other girls who were trafficked. And it's just incredible to see the heroism. And Sabrina is just one of the examples of the many survivors that we've had and have been able to help. And she's an inspiration to me. We love Sabrina.
Yeah, truly courageous. And Hayden, thank you so much for sharing that story. Yeah, can you share a little bit about the rehab process and what goes into it? What kind of challenges these survivors are overcoming, and how your team goes about helping them overcome those challenges?
Yes, of course. Unfortunately, the process doesn't look the same all the time. The child doesn't always have a happy family to go home to. If they do, then we provide the services they may need, therapy, any medical attention, whatever they may need, but then we return them to their family. But most of the time, unfortunately, it was the lack of family, or the family was actually the ones trafficking them. And so because of this, we have these partner aftercare homes that are heavily vetted, that anytime we do an operation, we always secure that aftercare home. And that way we can bring the survivors there. And that process, it looks different for every survivor, because it's a very complicated issue, and depending on what type of abuse it was, where it was happening, how old they were, their healing looks different. And so that's why OUR, we recognize that, and why we will really provide anything that a survivor may need. One of the awesome things that we provide is education and vocational training, because we could rescue a survivor, get them into an aftercare home, and if they'd been trafficked for years before, and let's say they're 16, 17 years old now, and they'd been trafficked since they were 12, we let them out of the aftercare home, and then they return back to the normal world. And if they don't have any skills, then they know in the back of their head that, well, I was being sold for sex, so maybe I'll just get back into that because I can make a living, right? And so we take it very seriously, the responsibility to educate and provide vocational training for our survivors, so that way when they leave, they have skills, they have tools in order to live a productive, happy life and not end up in the same chains that they were in before.
So Hayden, to that note, I know you guys have a lot of blogs on your site that point to some survivors who went on to start their own business.
Yeah.
Which is based on the training that you gave them to help them not get back into the position they were in before. So can you talk a little bit about some of that business training you gave and some of those stories, if you know some of those stories?
For sure. I'm not sure exactly how many details I can share, but we work with a local college here in Utah, and we send business students down after they've obviously had background checks, and there's a lot of things we put in place to protect our survivors. But we'll send them down, for example, to the Dominican Republic. And there, these business students will teach business classes, and they'll actually help people start businesses. And we even work with another organization called Mentors International, who will give small business loans to these survivors. And it's incredible. We've had some of our survivors start, whether in the food business, the salon business. It's awesome to be able to see these survivors come from just this terrible business where they are the product, right? They are the product, and then turn that around and start selling something or giving a service or product that is benefiting in a completely different way than how they were treated. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. So, we're here today to raise a lot of money and massive awareness. What are some things that people can do today to put a dent into this problem? What are some action steps that they can take?
For sure. Well, first and foremost, educate yourself on the problem. You need to know what human trafficking is, and we could do a 3-hour webinar right now, and we'd still just like dip into it, right? And so you need to understand what human trafficking looks like here in the United States, what it looks like internationally. And just kind of all the different faces of it, because it's a like an ever morphing villain where they'll always find out ways to traffic, and it's terrible. The next thing I would say is share the information that you've had. If we talk about how slavery was abolished in the United States and in Great Britain in the 19th century, it was because citizens, individuals, educated themselves on slavery, and then they shared what slavery truly was, and it created such public outrage that we sometimes think that Abraham Lincoln was just like, I'm done with slavery and slavery is finished, but that's not how it ended. It ended because as a people here in the United States, we saw slavery for what it was, and we were not okay with it anymore, and then our politicians followed. Now, luckily, it's not legal, at least here in the United States and in most of the world, but we still need to have that sort of public outrage in order to change the culture, because it is a culture so there's estimated 2 million children that are being trafficked. What sort of demand justifies that supply? So obviously we have a culture problem in the United States and across the world, where obviously people are consuming this. And as long as people are consuming it, then people are going to find a way to supply that demand. And then lastly, I would say is support organizations. Operation Underground Railroad, obviously I'm biased, but we're an awesome organization, but there's also tons of other organizations out there that are involved in the education side of things. In the rescue, we're kind of on that rescue and rehabilitation side, and there's ways. All of you have businesses in some way. All of you have a network that you've built. And just like Mike is the perfect example of this. He's using his network to make a difference. And who knows how many survivors could just be blessed because of Mike's work. And all of you that are listening, all of you that are here in this webinar, you have network. Now use it in some way, in a positive way. And that's why I'm here. I'm donor relations, and we help people use their platform to put a dent in this problem. And that's really, I don't like to answer the question of what should I do to get involved with the fight. You are going to know before I do. You know your network, you know your talents, and you know what you could do in order to raise awareness and also raise money to rescue children. And so I just ask you to really think about it. What is it that you can do? What talents, what network do you have? And follow Mike's example.
Mike, if I can just intrude for a minute. So I'm thinking, for the rehab process to putting them back into society, if there's a way somehow to create some sort of a program for them to study e-commerce, right? So there's an abundance of knowledge and courses and stuff like that. Create some sort of a program, a viable program where if they get certified, we'll cater, their skills to the community, so they can start hiring them, so they can do PPC management, copywriting, whatever it is that they can. It can be multi-languages, because you got Amazon. As long as Amazon is expanding globally, hopefully the program can expand globally and help children all over the world with giving a chance to go back to society. So obviously, if the ones who are savvy enough to learn the business and maybe even get a little bit of nucleus of funding and throw and launch a product and be entrepreneurs on their own, by all means. But at least the ones that at least the beginning of the steps of that is working with organizations who are in e-commerce and getting viable experience. So I don't know if we can do this overnight, but if we create a trajectory with the forces in e-commerce who have the best content, and really create a viable program where they get some sort of certificate because they spend X amount of time, they pass X amount of exams, where somebody who hires them can know, with closing their eyes, two things: they're going to get quality, support from them, right? That's the service they're going to provide, but also the help, save their lives and not look back into their old life and have full vision towards the future. Just throwing an idea out there.
That's an incredible idea, and we're always looking for ways to empower our survivors. And obviously, we live in the digital age, and e-commerce is a great way in order to make a living. And we'd love to, and we'd have to do that behind the scenes, obviously, but we'd love to explore that idea.
Okay.
I'd love to explore the insert card idea too. So, so empowering sellers to get involved and using their packaging as a way to deliver the message to end this pandemic. So, we all have to send our inventory into Amazon, and a lot of us have to put it into poly bags. We can then use that as a way to connect with Days of Nuggets or some other way to get sellers involved, to get the masses involved in this problem. So Yanni, that's awesome. Like these little ideas can start a life of their own, but it takes those ideas to really make a difference. So
for sure.
Hayden, you are a hero, I have to say.
Hey, no, I'm
you
not.
Are a freaking hero.
I represent the heroes. That's all.
You also look like a superhero. It looked like you came right out of Hollywood or something.
Stop it.
Yeah, with that glow behind you, all you need is a uniform. That's it. You're launching out. It's helping others.
All right.
Well, thank you, Hayden, for coming on. We're going to do our best to get this event kicked off here in about 20 more minutes, I think, Mike.
That's
and
right.
Try to start raising money for this awesome event. So thank you
again
for being on. Thanks for everything you guys do.
Thank you, Hayden.
Thank you.
I got a winner. If you guys want to know about $250 that's going to meet a winner. I don't know if you guys want to know about it or not.
Yeah. So before we get on to talk about our next, the real big contest, Yanni, you got to tell us who won from the trivia contest.
You got it. So I can just throw a name, no problem. Okay, I'll just say the first. Okay, I'll say the name. I'll take a risk, liability, right? So Jeffrey Anderson, congratulations. You won most of the questions correctly. Nobody got it all right, even though it was only 5 questions, but he got 4 out of 5, more than the rest of them. So congratulations, Jeffrey. We're going to reach out to you, give you that money. If you want to donate back that money, we're not going to blame you. But if you want to go buy yourself gifts or help others in other ways, that's fun as well. But congratulations. Thank you for playing and participating.
So you're saying the top score was an 80?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. Good job, guys.
So
good to go.
We need to talk about our next contest now.
Yeah. Hey, Yanni, we're going to bring in Anthony. So thank you so much for that contest, and congratulations to the winner. And we have another contest that's starting off. Thanks, Yanni.
You got it. You got it. Take care, guys. Good job. Bye-bye.
All right. So we were talking earlier when we were talking about the format of this, about some of the new things that we're doing with the Days of Nuggets campaign this year. And one of them is a contest for sellers to enter their own nuggets, right? Like basically give out their own best tips, their own best ideas, their own best pieces of content, which is exceptional. It's a great idea. And the way that you're going to do that is through the website daysofnuggets.com. There's basically a portal, and Mike, you can talk about that. And because the winner of that could be subjective, right? Because there's not going to be like a clear cut way to judge that fairly. We're using one of the best tools and resources we have in the e-commerce space to determine, I shouldn't say winners, but determine the best options, right? And that is PickFu. So we've got Anthony from PickFu. He's kind of like the chief evangelist, the chief ambassador of PickFu. And he understands a lot about testing and split testing. And he came up with this great idea where PickFu can actually utilize the platform to let us, this community, judge the best nugget entrants from other sellers. So, Mike, why don't you talk a little bit about how this contest is going to work, how people can enter their nuggets, and Anthony, let's talk about how we're going to use PickFu to actually find the winner. And just so you guys know, there are some pretty serious prizes in here as well. We'll talk about that in just a second.
Yeah, so Anthony and I met recently through the magic of Days of Nuggets. I don't know if he reached out to me or I reached out to him. And this was like a really great way to get everyone else involved, because we know that everyone, sellers who have the experience, have great knowledge to share. In fact, that's how I've learned a ton about my business, by just listening, going to events, and then taking action on those tips. So it was like networking tips that really helped to move the needle. So we wanted to introduce that element into the 12 Days of Nuggets. And then, PickFu is an amazing platform that a ton of sellers use to really leverage the power of polls to find out the very best tip. So why not allow sellers to submit their nuggets and then use the PickFu platform to vote on those nuggets to get everyone involved? Once again, the goal here is really to get everyone involved, to get the word out there. And then, hopefully we're going to get some kick-ass nuggets from the seller community that will go viral. And who knows, it may be the very best nugget. Maybe your nugget will outperform some of the leading experts in the space. Maybe your nugget will do better than theirs in terms of how much it's shared. Bottom line is, these nuggets can help to make a difference in somebody's business. And if you have something that you absolutely know is an amazing tip, go ahead and share it. And it's a really simple process. I'll let Anthony talk a little bit more about that too. But go to our website, daysofnuggets.com/contest. And you're going to see there are some really amazing prizes here. So PickFu credit, first prize, you're going to win a $500 PickFu credit. Anthony's going to talk more about that. And then second place prize is a $250 credit. And then third place prize is a $100 credit. And then we have this really nifty video, which is my buddy Billy. A lot of people thought that this was me. This is not me. This is Billy, the video editing genius, who's great at YouTube video editing. He's going to take your nugget submission and give it a little bit of magic, and we're going to get it out there. So he'll teach you how to make a really good video so that your nose isn't like stuffed up the video camera, or that you're not eating the mic. Some really quick, easy tips on how to create a fun video. And then Anthony, I'm going to bring you on because you had a really cool idea in terms of making these videos more fun and perhaps more viral.
Yeah, well, Mike and Tim, thanks so much for having me on, and thanks for allowing PickFu. We're super excited about helping out in this project. What I'll say is that, and kind of the fun thing about PickFu is, like Mike was saying earlier, we don't really know what's going to win. And it's not necessarily the tip that is, that's going to get the most votes. It might not even come down to the actual tip. And so my recommendation to you, number one, is we need a lot of participation and we need a lot of engagement from the seller community. We want to get as many tips as possible. So somewhere in the back of everyone's brain, I know you all have it because I go to conferences, I chat with all of you before COVID was happening. And so I know everyone has a good tip. My recommendation to you is when you are filming that tip, there's some really good instructions for how to film that tip. but try to bring your own kind of spice, try to bring your own flavor to it. I think you've probably seen during quarantine, during COVID, all of these crazy TikToks that people are doing. And again, I don't know what's going to be the consensus of the community with the tip that's number one. I think it's very possible, if not probable, that one of the tips that's not one of the experts is actually going to be the winner. And there are some big prizes on the line. So that's all I got to say, Mike. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, you did. You did a great job. And this is a great way to showcase your brilliance, and we can get it out there and help a lot of sellers and save a lot of lives. So it's really simple to submit this nugget. It is due, though, by the 14th. So you guys have about a week to submit this nugget. Now, as I said before, if you haven't watched the beginning of the broadcast, what is a nugget? A nugget is a short, actionable, power-packed, business needle moving piece of content that can help you out based on your experience, can help other sellers out. So we want to keep it short and sweet. We don't want any 3-hour nuggets, but I have to say somebody did submit a 3-hour nugget, guys. This is a funny story. One of our keynote speakers accidentally submitted a 3-hour nugget. And we're like, I don't think that's not a nugget. That's like a massive bomb. So anyways, keep it short and sweet, action-oriented. All you have to do is email it to us, nuggets@ppcentourage.com. Include the subject line, 12 days of nuggets. Do that before December 14th. And then we're going to have a period of time where we get those nuggets out there on our website. And we're going to use PickFu's platform so that you can vote on the very best nugget. And then on the 18th, during the Festivus event, I'll come on and we'll announce the winner of the 12 Days of Nuggets Seller Submission Nugget Contest. So that about sums it up. Tim, anything to add on your end?
No, except that I think this is a really cool way to highlight all the freaking geniuses we have in this community. Like some of us are gluttons of, let me say that again. Some of us are gluttons for punishment, and we take a little more public role and we put out podcasts, we put out YouTube videos, but I love like meeting other sellers and learning from them. I have a coaching program where I learn more from them, I'm sure, than they learn from me and the other owner of that. And I think that as we're all striving to get better and better at e-commerce, some of the brightest minds and the brightest ideas aren't on a public platform, right? So this contest is an incredible way for people to go out and potentially drop some huge bombs of information and great ideas and great tactics for all of us to use. I think it's awesome. I'm exceptionally excited to see what some people submit. And I think it's cool to make it a contest. I think that that'll help some of this stuff get shared, and I think it'll help some awareness of different tactics and strategies to be put out there.
Awesome. All right, Anthony, thank you so much. And wow, so it has been almost 2 hours since we started this live stream, and we just sent out an invite link to a bunch of the keynote speakers, and then we have a couple of them showing up here. Norm, are you there? There he is.
Yes. Hey, how's it going?
It's the bearded wonder.
Hey.
Yeah.
I did a YouTube video with Norm once, and my video editor said, "Man, he's like the Amazon wizard." I'm like, because of his skill, and he's like, is he magical? He's like, no, it's just the beard.
Just the beard.
Combination.
And then our non-bearded wonder, Amy Weiss. How are you, Amy?
I'm good. It's good to see you guys.
Great to see you too.
So both of you, Norm and Amy, are key Nug contributors and Nug contributors. Can you give us a little bit of a taste, a little hint of the type of stuff that you're going to be dropping on us as your nuggets are released?
Amy, go ahead.
I was going to say the bearded guy gets to go first, but I did a poll in my group and I said, what do you guys want to learn about? And I gave some options and everybody voted, not everyone, but almost everybody voted for learning how to expand their products beyond Amazon into retail channels. So recently I got my first purchase order from Walmart stores. And so I just did a little key nugget about giving you guys some tips on how to set up your brands to sell wholesale to retailers.
Very cool.
Norm?
All right.
What you got for us?
Okay. So basically just using very simple ways of getting influencers. And, you need external traffic. How do you get that external traffic? Well, it's very easy to go out, find influencers to help build your Amazon listing and drive traffic to them.
Good stuff. Can't wait to see that nugget.
Yeah.
You guys can't give away too much of the secret sauce because we got to save that for the actual nugget itself.
That's right.
Yanni delivered the first nugget. Hey, we have Tim, we didn't mention we have a networking event in like 5 minutes.
Yep.
That's one thing we forgot to mention this. Oh, and we have someone else that just joined the call. Oh boy, here we go. Here he is, the one and only. Joe, you're live.
Joe Reichfeld, what's up, buddy?
He's like, I'm taking a call right now. Hang on. Joe.
Can we hear you?
We can hear him. Joe popped in and he's muted.
Oh no, don't mute him.
No.
Joe's leading one of the networking. Joe's one of our networking event table leaders too, right? We're doing a couple of different tables at the networking event.
Yeah, I think Joe is, and you are as well. You're leading a table. I'll be leading a table. Who else is going to be leading it? There's a couple of us that are going to be in there. And did we post a link? Let me grab the link while you talk to Joe. If you are you there? No.
No.
We'll try to read your lips, Joe.
Joe, if you could get a whiteboard and write things down and hold it up in front of the camera, that'd be great. So apparently Joe's going to be spending the next 4 minutes getting his audio working so that he can host a roundtable. And what we're talking about, guys, if you'll be paying attention for a second to the Days of Nuggets Facebook page, Mike's going to be posting a link to like a live networking events that Augustus and Orange Click are putting on, which is pretty stinking awesome. That's going to be happening in like 4 minutes. Also in 4 minutes is when we're dropping the first nug. Isn't that right, Mike?
Oh, yeah. It's another thing. Man, time flies.
Mike, you got to get it together, man.
4 minutes. Yeah. Thankfully, I don't have to drop it because I would probably make it late. But yeah, 4 minutes. The latest nug, the first nug is going to be dropping. Actually, we have 2 nuggets dropping for you in 4 minutes. Also, if you want to join in the networking event, it's bit.ly/net-nuggets. No, bit.ly.com/12 nuggets. So go to that link now. Let me drop that so that
and if you can't remember that, the best thing to do is check the Facebook page, the Days of Nuggets Facebook page. Mike is posting that link right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll post that here. And yeah, guys, that's a wrap. What a live event it's been.
2 hours. I feel like we've covered a lot of stuff. I feel like we've given you guys a good idea of what the Days of Nuggets event is all about. 2 nuggets about to drop right now. Check that Facebook page. Make sure to go to the live networking event if you can. bit.ly/12 nuggets, or check that Facebook page. And a massive, again, shout out to our sponsors, Gatita, PPC Entourage, and Sellers Funding.
You got it. Tim, thank you so much for hosting. Everyone else, thank you so much for joining us. Amy, Joe, I think you're still trying to get your mic working, but it's good seeing you as always. Tim, thank you so much for hosting, and I will see you all soon. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.